This is Jen Rubin for Payments.com, and I'm here with Ivan Lazarev from ITN International. Ivan, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about some of the initiatives you're currently working on?
So we're working on an initiative to introduce a B-card concept for events, trade shows, and conferences. And basically what it is to use the NFC environment to actually exchange business card information and professional information within a secure environment that we call the B-card network. We've been working with a number of show producers, a number of mobile network operators, as well as handset manufacturers. And we're here tonight at the MIT just presenting a little bit of what we've done over the last 5 years and showing some new software that we developed with new platforms done with Nokia. So it's been a lot of fun.
I'm sure you've heard all the announcements recently about NFC and ISIS and
Yes.
Google and Apple.
Yes.
What is the business case right now in the U.S. for NFC, and what can be done to help get merchants on board faster?
That's a very good question, and unfortunately it's going to take a little bit of time. The good news, however, is that the contactless infrastructure in the U.S. is amazing. I mean, there are more contactless terminals in the U.S. than there are in Europe right now. So what we should see is a very quick ramp up once the phones are provided to the network operators, once the users start having mobile wallets on their phones and start seeing value to using the mobile wallet. We'll see a lot of contactless payment going on. And I predict a very, very fast adoption rate, and so did Eric Schmidt when he was talking about the Google phone.
There's also the Go tag. How successful do you think that has been?
The Go tag it was a great bridge technology. It was definitely something that needed to be done. I think those people that used it were really, really happy about it. It proved an awful lot. It was a great way to just get into it and make it happen. But I think an integrated reader will make a big difference. We used bridge technology for 4 years. Since in 2005 when we started, we used bridge technology for 4 years. And let me tell you, when in 2009 we were able to launch an integrated NFC device, we not only saw an adoption rate that skyrocketed, but we saw also a satisfaction rate that got really, really good. And that was the big difference. We knew that as soon as you were going to show an integrated device, you would see a considerable improvement in the user experience. And that was proven. And it was really, really different. And I think that users will see the difference.
Any other big payments predictions for 2011?
Well, the payment prediction for 2011, no. I think that if we get to ISIS coming out, and if we get Visa doing some of their initiatives, I think it'd be great. I think a lot of is going to happen in the payment industry.
And where will we see NFC first playing the biggest role besides the transit industry?
Well, it's interesting. Obviously, payment and transit is going to be, but I'm very big on service discovery. Anything that's going to have to do with poster information exchange. We play in the events arena, which is obviously a market niche out of the whole ecosystem, but it's really been very, very well received, and I see lots and lots of good usage in what I call the marketing arena. It's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen with that.
We look forward to following the developments with ITN. Thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate it.
Forum. Paula, thank you for joining us today.
Hi.
Can you tell us about some of the latest initiatives you're working on at the forum?
The NFC Forum has just announced the launch of our certification program. This is something we've been working on for a long time. Our goal is to ensure that all NFC devices that comply with our specs are labeled as complying with our specs. Companies can go through the testing and become certified and then use our mark, called the N mark, on their certified devices. This is really exciting because it will help promote interoperability. All devices all over the world can go through the same program, come out with the same N mark, and we'll know that they all are conforming to the same set of specs.
Besides the transit industry, where do you expect to see NFC mobile acceptance most widely deployed first?
Mobile acceptance. Well, certainly transit, as you already said, but I think there are a very large number of use cases for NFC. In fact, it's an infinite number of use cases, and we really don't even know which ones are going to be the ones that take off first. Certainly social media is a popular one. We've seen a lot of entries in our global competition for in the social media area. I think we assume payments will be following soon, and access control. Of course, I'm blanking out on the hundreds of others right now, but there are just pretty much anything you can think of will probably use them. In fact, the badges that we have on at this meeting are NFC enabled, and you can hold up your phone to a badge and get information about the person who's wearing it.
What's next for the NFC Forum in 2011?
2011, we'll be finishing the last few key specs that are not done yet. We'll be cleaning up our other specs, making sure that they're ready to move on to the next level of work. We'll be building on the foundation that those specs built and provided, and adding some new areas for our specs, things that are related to our first specs, but perhaps have a slight different twist. We'll start looking at documents for supporting different applications, profiles, and we'll be continuing to work on our certification program on the next wave of our certification program. Like many certification programs, we'll be rolling it out in waves, and wave 2 is scheduled for 2012, so 2011 we'll be working on the second wave.
Sounds like you guys have a busy year ahead. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Pabati, VP of Business Development for Covio. Vic, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about some of the initiatives you're working on at Covio right now?
Yep, so we are focused on 3 applications using our technology. One is consumer brand interactions for marketing and advertising. The second one is brand authentication. And the third one is transit payments.
And what are some of the lovely props you have?
So here's a tag that we have printed. This is on a wine bottle. And as you can see, there's an antenna and there's a Covio printed silicon chip that goes on the wine bottle label. In the real world application, of course, the tag would be on the back of the label. The consumer would walk up to it and tap on it using an NFC phone and learn about the wine, learn about its rating, get an opportunity to understand more about it before the purchase. So we call this whole idea of the consumer interacting with the product prior to purchase as the consumer chain. And then once they have purchased the product, then they can still continue to interact with that product through the entire life cycle of it. And so they can also enhance its understand better as to how to use the product.